this is another team that has quite a few holes. They have a need on the defensive line as well as corner. But I believe that they select here with this pick cornerback.
Mine's changing mid-pick. Has this ever happened?
Trey McDuffie.
Now this is another team with a completely new regime. So how does this pick go with the new head coach and the new GM?
Well, this is a team that has picked a few corners early in the drafts the past few years. They haven't panned out. I think that they are trying to look for guys who can play man. And while the temptation was to pick Sauce Gardner, I think they may have questions in terms of if he can play in a man scheme. And they have zone guys, so I think Trent McDuffie is the better fit for them at this pick.
You better take care of my son. That's all I gotta say. Trent is now my son. After today, he's my son.
Yeah.
With the number 13 pick, the Cleveland Browns are now on the board, and Carmi, this is you.
This would have been a great Jameson Williams spot.
Yeah, it would have been. And because of that,
That's a good tiger ball.
I feel like I'm going the other side of the ball for Cleveland. I feel like. Anybody want to do the Jeopardy? Okay. Yep. We go to Marvin Leal. Interior D-line.
So the value at the top of the board, you obviously were not looking there. How did that steer your direction?
We know that, I guess I'm not myself right now. I'm the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns will go from the inside out. You've got the edge threat in Myles Garrett, right? You need some guys to eat up some space to make things easier on him. Maybe, towards the later rounds of the draft, you get another guy on the edge. But you want guys to eat up space. This is the guy to do it.
Here we are, Cleveland Browns. Thank you. The number 14 pick in the draft. Baltimore Ravens are on the clock. Kyle?
Well, it's a great spot for Trevor Penning, and he's gone. This was a great spot for any of the edge guys, and they're all gone. Is anybody interested in making a trade? Anybody want to come up, grab anybody? A couple blue chip corners left. They're good players. It might just not be for me.
Not much trade love
The
today.
team you're representing again, please.
The Baltimore Ravens.
Baltimore Ravens. Okay. I'll offer you a pick swap. You're not gonna. Okay.
This should be good.
I'm the New Orleans Saints, and I'm offering you Andrus Peat and 18 for your pick.
Coming up here, sir.
Oh, you got it done.
Okay.
That was a good deal for both of us. Wow. Pleasure doing business.
Likewise. Got me off the hook.
So now I am the New Orleans Saints, and I own, what pick is this now?
14.
14. So we moved up a few spots here. We've got a little bit of relief by moving out from Andrus Peat, who's a good fit for the Baltimore Ravens. And we've been sweating for a while about getting a quarterback because, we see a couple of teams pass on them. So we had to come on up and get a quarterback. And what we had to do is come up and get QB1, Malik.
Ooh, I'm going to need you to hold it right there, Chief. It's me again, and as the butterfly effect of the Russell Wilson trade continues to permeate its way through the TDN 2022 NFL Combine mock, you may have missed the Denver Broncos had originally drafted Kenny Pickett with the number 9 overall selection, but that pick was adjusted in the aftermath of the Russell Wilson trade to make sure you, the people, could enjoy this fine mock effort from all of us here at TDN. which means Joe's trade from 18 to 14, with yours truly, is for a different quarterback instead of the originally intended selection of Malik Willis, who's off the board to Seattle with our adjusted pick. Which means with the number 14 overall pick, Joe Marino has traded up with the New Orleans Saints to draft quarterback Kenny Pickett from the University of Pittsburgh. You do think about the offensive structure that exists in New Orleans in a division that should be competitive, with Carolina continuing to try to find their way, Tampa Bay existing without Tom Brady and several of their starters on the offensive line, and the Atlanta Falcons only in year 2 of a rebuild, and a pro-ready quarterback like Kenny Pickett in that offensive infrastructure could be exactly what the Saints need to get back to the postseason again in 2022, their first year without head coach Sean Payton. Sorry. I think this is the last time you'll be hearing from me. Don't hold me to it, though.
Philadelphia Eagles are on the clock, Ryan.
All right. Eagles. Another situation, the Eagles have 3 picks in the first round, as we know. Don't expect them to have all 3 picks, but I think this is a no-brainer for Howie Roseman. And adding a guy, my CB1 in the class is Sauce Gardner out of Cincinnati. Got to know him a little bit this week. I'm going to see him test tomorrow. Just a really, really impressive ball player. Has a mentality that, he didn't give up any touchdowns in college. I'm not sure he's going to give one up in the NFL for a little bit of a while. He has Darius Slay on the opposite side of him. So with the first pick for the Eagles in this draft, I'm going to add a hell of a player in Ahmad Sauce Gardner, also with the best name in the entire draft.
Now, this is your first of 3 picks in the next 5-pick stretch. So why was this player prioritized first?
I think he just adds, fills an immediate need. Darius Slay is their CB1. He's going to be tasked with kind of guarding those wide receiver ones immediately. He's excellent in zone. He's excellent in man. They run a lot of cover 3 in Jonathan Gannon's defense. He's an athlete. He can run and fit. He can tackle. He's a playmaker. And just an all-around dog. So adding a guy like that in Philly, that's some brotherly love right there. That's a perfect fit.
All right. Philadelphia Eagles, again on the clock with the number 16 pick. Kyle, you're up.
Let's make some magic happen.
Lots of Eagle picks.
Let's go. Let's make some magic happen here. Turn the flip the hair for you here. I heard that. All right, so Eagles just landed a corner opposite Darius Slay, which is an excellent addition. There's one thing we know about the Eagles that they have traditionally done a lot of. They've gone after edge rushers, a pretty consistent clip. They also have had really good offensive line play for the course of this past 5-6 year stretch for this team when they've been healthy. Obviously, Brandon Brooks no longer a piece of the puzzle there for them is something to consider. Jason Kelsey getting ready to hang him up as well. I'm looking, we're going to continue building in the trenches, but I like getting a couple of these blue chip guys that we have here in this tier and prioritizing them.
Love that.
We're going to draft Tyler Linderbaum, center out of Iowa. There's not a lot of guys who have a body type like this that go early in the draft, but he's built just like Jason Kelsey. And he's got that same kind of leverage. You think about extending what they have there, continuity with the style of play. I think it's a really good fit for Philadelphia.
Now, how does the previous pick at number 15 help steer you to pick offensive line?
Yeah, I mean, if we go in a different direction, it's hard to argue with Andrew Booth, who's my personal CB2 and has phenomenal movement skills. So, corner, trench play. I'll be interested to see what happens when our next rep comes up at 19 and makes their next selection as well. But they've got a couple clearly defined needs for their team. And this offensive line, interior offensive line, they're pretty set at tackle. We want to make sure we're strong in the trenches all the way through and continue to help Jalen Hurts develop as a player. So I think it's a win-win-win all around.
Now with the number 17 pick, the Los Angeles Chargers are on the clock. Dre?
The Los Angeles Chargers are on the clock. Thank you.
You are so welcome.
Ms. Commissioner. The Los Angeles Chargers have a need at interior defensive line. They're going to lose Joseph and Justin Jones possibly to free agency. So they will have a need on the interior defensive line and take this pick to select a very good player, very impactful, maybe the best interior defensive lineman in this class. And
Let's go.
I'll say what.
Now, how does this pick help even the offense and Justin Herbert, growth as a quarterback and success?
Well, of course, I think that the great thing is that he's a great interior pass rusher, and when you can have pressure in the quarterback's face, and I think it really affects the game. It helps your secondary, it helps your pass rushers on the outside, so it helps to have an interior push, and he definitely brings that. And he is equally adept at defending the run as well, so good player.
Good pick, man.
Balance that way.
Now, at number 18, we did have a trade, so now the Ravens are up on the board. Kyle.
Yeah, this one's easy. Huh?
Y'all a bunch of suckers. I trade down. I still get Andrew Booth Jr. You're kidding me? Address that need on the interior offensive line. I knew when I made the trade back from 14, I was doing the numbers game. Look at Charles Cross was up there, Kenyon Green, Tyler Linderbaum, both those guys up there. We had Sauce Gardner. We had Andrew Booth Jr. We knew we were going to get one of those guys. It's just a math proposition. So now I get a guy I might have taken anyway at 14, but now I got Andrews Pete. I know it's a big contract to bring into the picture for Baltimore too, but I killed two birds with one stone. So thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
And now, how are you prioritizing this position at this pick? You've been dropping down.
Yeah, so it was kind of the numbers game, right? I was surprised McDuffie went as early as he did to Minnesota at 12, but I think it's good value. I certainly think. So as you're looking at Baltimore and knowing that you have Marcus Peters under contract as well, you're probably going to have to make a transition at that spot at some point. You have Marlon Humphrey. You gave him a second contract. He's one of the highest paid corners in the league, and rightfully so. I get a rookie contract at this position. It's a premium position with a rookie contract. And, by the way, by trading down a couple spots, that rookie contract's not quite as big as it would have been if it was at 14, too. So it's a little bit of a dollar savings proposition in that regard as well. Now, maybe I can restructure Andrews Pete. If not, I'll have to tinker with some restructures across the rest of the roster to make sure I'm in good cap shape. But premium position, just the numbers game, knowing there were going to be a couple of guys that were good candidates for me if I moved down a couple spots.
Now at number 19, the Philadelphia Eagles are on the clock. Keith.
Oh man.
All right, Spice.
Here we go. Another angry fan base. And you had the first pick, right?
For the Eagles, yeah. Sauce.
You selected Sauce. You selected Tyler Linderbaum, which were great picks. They filled positions of need. I think they're really good football players. We have Jalen Hurts. They all talks about trading all three of those picks to get Russell Wilson. But I think that's a bad decision. You have Jalen Hurts at quarterback. Surround him with some more weapons. So I'm going to take my personal favorite wide receiver from Penn State, Jahan Dotson. Add another playmaker to him. We're going to surround Jalen Hurts with weapons and just continue to sling that rock around while also implementing a run game so create good balance overall. So I really like this pick.
Now, this pick wraps up your stretch of picks, the last 5. So how did those picks help you make this pick? And did you use best player position available?
Now, I thought more so about Jalen Hurts and wanting to keep him. Like I said, I don't think that they should trade Jalen Hurts. Trading for Russell Wilson, this guy can be a young Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson had the same type of progression where he was majority a running quarterback. He was surrounded by good weapons. So I think that we should take him as a weapon. Like I said, they took care of the needs. So now it's time to get some luxury picks and we be able to sling that thing around.
Keith, Jerry Jones, come on up.
He lived the lifestyle I aspire to live.
Are you sitting on your yacht making this pick today?
Yes, for sure.
For sure.
Oh man, so
For the Jerry bus.
the Raiders took Christian Watson. We'll talk about that in the next owners meeting. Man, this is tough.